Alan Weber here with more of Winnie the Pooh. We are in chapter 5 where Pooh and Piglet are trying to figure out how to catch a heffalump. And of course, Pooh is a little sad that he's not clever enough to think of it. And he's trying to figure out what would it take to catch a heffalump. Suppose, he said to Piglet, you wanted to catch me. How would you do it? Well, said Piglet, I should do it like this. I should make a trap, and I should put a jar of honey in the trap, and you would smell it, and you would go in after it, and I would go in after it, said Pooh excitedly, only very carefully so as not to hurt myself, and I would get to the jar of honey, and I should lick round the edges first of all, pretending that there wasn't any more, and then I should walk away and think about it a little, and then I should come back and start licking in the middle of the jar, and then, yes, well, never mind about that. There you would be, and there I should catch you, said Piglet. Now, the first thing to think of is, what do heffalumps like? I should think acorns, shouldn't you? We'll get a lot of... I say, wake up, Pooh. Pooh had gone into a happy dream, woke up with a start, and said that honey was a much more trappy thing than acorns. Piglet didn't think so, and when they were just going to argue about it, when Piglet remembered that if they put acorns in the trap, he would have to find the acorns, but if they put in honey, then Pooh would have to give up some of his own honey. So he said, all right, honey then. Just as Pooh remembered it too and said, and was going to say, all right, acorns. Honey, said Piglet to himself in a thoughtful way, as if it were now settled. I'll dig the pit while you go and get the honey. Very well, said Pooh, and he stumped off. As soon as he got home, he went to the larder, and he stood on a chair, and he took down a very large jar of honey from the top shelf. It had honey written on it, but just to make sure, he took off the paper cover and looked at it, and it looked like honey. But you never can tell, said Pooh. I remember my uncle saying once that he had seen cheese just this color. So he put his tongue in and took a large lick. Yes, he said, it is, no doubt about that. And honey, I should say, right down to the bottom of the jar. Unless, of course, he said, somebody put cheese in at the bottom just for a joke. Perhaps I had better go a little further, just in case heffalumps don't like cheese, same as me. Ah, and he gave a deep sigh. I was right. It is honey, right the way down. Having made certain of this, he took the jar back to Piglet, and Piglet looked up from the bottom of his very deep pit and said, got it? And Pooh said, yes, but it isn't quite a full jar. And he threw it down to Piglet, and Piglet said, no, it isn't. Is that all you've got left? And Pooh said, yes, because it was. So Piglet put the jar at the bottom of the pit and climbed out, and they went off home together. Well, good night, Pooh, said Piglet when they had got to Pooh's house. And we meet at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning by the pine trees and see how many heffalumps we've got in our trap. So let's pause there and we'll find out when they come back together if they've got any heffalumps in their trap.